All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Davion. I am a technologist at DoSpace, and this is iPad Basics. I'm just going to be going over a few iPad basic things everyone should know or might learn today and answer any questions towards the end. So let's get started. So I'm just going to start right here on the home screen right here. So this is the main screen that pops up whenever you turn on your iOS device. If I swipe down right here in the right hand corner, you see a bunch of functions come down. We got the battery icon, the Wi-Fi. So I'm just going to expand this little page right here. So when I expand that, we have airplane mode, AirDrop, Wi-Fi, and our Bluetooth. So all these do different functions. So airplane mode basically just cuts off the device from having any type of service. It's basically designed what it's called for, airplane mode. It's not usable unless you just play games or already have stuff downloaded on your device. The Wi-Fi, you can look at all the networks that you might be in, wherever building you might be at, or at home if you have like a lot of networks. So I'm in the DoSpace building, so we have MCC and our own few networks. AirDrop, I can make it so it's only, I can turn it off so no one can AirDrop anything for me. Contacts are just people you already have in your contacts. So on your phone or just on the tablet itself or any other device, iOS device you might have. Then there's everybody. So if I don't even have you as a contact or if I don't know you, you could AirDrop something onto my device, which personally I would say have it for contacts only. The Bluetooth setting, I have a few Bluetooth devices. I have my Beats Pill, my AirPods, my PS4 controller, which is called DualShock, and a UE Boom, another Bluetooth speaker that I have. So that is that. Then from here, you can control music. If you have Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, you can control it from here in this area. This button right here that just kind of is glowing a little bit is the lock button. So the way I have my screen is like in a landscape, but I can make it horizontal, so up and down, and I can have it permanently locked like that so it doesn't move, or when I click it off, rotation lock is off. This button right here is a do not disturb. So if you're in a meeting or if you're trying to focus on a class or if you're even trying to just get some rest, I suggest putting this on. Your phone won't ring. Everything is just completely silent. It's when you tap on the device, it will let you see all the notifications you might receive in that time. So like I said, for an hour until this evening or until even I leave this location, or you can even schedule it when you wanted to do that. This is just our brightness setting right here. If I expand on that, which I'm expanding on these buttons by just tapping, holding it for a little period of time, let's say like a second or two. So right now I have my device in dark mode on because it's easier on my eyes personally. So I could switch it off and it would kind of make everything a little bit lighter and like more of the colors will be more white than the black that I have it set at right now. Then the night shift is for the nighttime, because I know at night the device, when you try to see the device at night, it's very bright. So when you turn night shift on, it kind of helps your eyes. So it's not really like beaming in your eyes. So I'm gonna turn that off. We'll just turn it on, turn it back off. Right now, you're able to see like the screen I'm sharing with you through, I have it connected through a cord into my laptop, then I'm streaming it through Zoom. So that's why it says dot connector right there. I have a few other little widgets in this. So this one right here is the camera. Next to it, is the notepad, then it's the timer. And I think that's my sound, I believe. And I have a timer as well if I needed to stopwatch, bedtime, those type of functions. So if we pull down from the left-hand corner or just the middle of the screen, we go right into just the plain lock screen that is the iOS. So to resume, we just swipe it back open since it's already unlocked. Right here at the bottom is our dock. So in the dock, you can customize it to have whatever you want down there. Personally, I have my settings, messages, the two music applications I use most, two internet browsers, my mail, and files. If you want to add, say, your calendar down there, if you frequently use your calendar, you would just hold, wait until it starts to shake. So you'll know you'll activate this function if you see the done button in the corner. So you'll just drag said application on down and put it onto the dock. So the dock will expand to make room for it. And if I wanted to say put this in a folder, I would have to drag it out and put it into this folder that it'll give it a name itself. So this is called productivity. I can change it to, I'm just gonna call it random for this time being. Then I can hit done and click out of it, then drag the whole folder on down, then hit done in the right hand corner, then it's set. So right here we have our random folder with the App Store and calendar in hand. Excuse me. Another cool feature I like to get into is when you swipe all the way to the right, I get this on the side. So this is like another little bar that they have in the new software feature. I have the weather app included in this, the calendar, Siri app suggestions. So if I said, I'm not going to say the words because it'll activate Siri, but if I did say like, hey Siri, it'll, oh, it didn't do it so good. So if I do say, hey Siri, it will probably open, it will open any of these. It will pop up and Siri will want to know like, what do you need? And you could say like clock, notes, Google Chrome, or camera. Under that, I have the news, screen time, and a bunch of others. If you want to add more to this little page, you just hit edit. Then here you have a bunch of widgets. So I could add the weather. I'm not, well, nope, I can remove the weather. So the red means remove. Down here, the green means I could add. So I could add TikTok, calendar, cam scanner, ESPN, or many, many more. Also, it depends on what application you're using because there are more than one. There's more than one, or there's millions of apps you could possibly have in that little area right there. So let me slide back out of there. So when you swipe up, you get this feature, which is basically how you close out of the apps that will drain your battery. So if I swipe up, that gets rid of that, and gets rid of that. So now I have nothing. So let me open that and this one. So I have a few open settings because I'll get to there in a second. So that's how you do that on there. So on the web browser, I'm going to open Safari. So I'm going to show this cool feature. So say if I was on Safari and I needed to compare some things. So I'm going to open Finish Line and East Bay. And I'm going to drag this to the right here in the right hand side of my screen. Then I basically split the screen in half and I can simultaneously be on both screens. So if I wanted to look at that shoe right there and maybe another basketball shoe and just compare prices or something of that nature, that would make it a whole lot easier. So if we were trying to save money, this shoe right here on the right is $225. This one's $110. We're gonna just pull that one to the right because that's not in the budget, and we would just focus on this one right here. That is a pretty unique feature that I like to use whenever I'm shopping and trying to, find the best deal. So close out of that and we reopen Safari. So when you do the split screen, you can either completely wipe out the screen or you can kind of push it to the side. So I'm just going to open that back up. Wow. Actually, so I'm just going to drag it down back to the right. So you can make it kind of whatever size you want as well. So even if I wanted to just split them, we would just pull one all the way to the right, or let's go to the left this time. And it will be right underneath it. If you want, it will be completely in a whole different window. So that's a pretty cool feature with Safari. Also, oops, didn't mean to hit that. Let's actually go into settings. So this is the settings right here. It's located usually anywhere on the screen. I have it in my dock because I periodically have to change some things around. We already talked about airplane mode. This is usually where you would find to connect to the Wi-Fi. If you can't find it, you can even set it to ask to join networks, or if you need to even like kind of find a specific network and the security and the etc. You can do that there. Bluetooth, this is how you would, like if you want to forget the device, which will completely remove it off the iPad, turn it on and off as well. My notifications tab. So this is coming in handy actually pretty much right now because I get a lot of emails on my iPad, so I have it set to never, so I don't have anything popping up at the top of my screen. So you can preset how you want things to come. So you can have it just in a lock screen right here, the notification center, or as like a little banner at the top of the screen. You can flip the sounds on and off. You can make it like a little temporary notification, or you can have it persistent, which it'll keep reminding you like, hey, you have an email. I have everything pretty much right now set to never, so nothing's interrupting our broadcast right now. Sounds, this is how you control, like, say if you got a new email, this is how you control that sound and figure out how you want it to sound. And that, sorry, and make it, figure out how you want it to sound, and any ringtones if someone wants to FaceTime you or even try and get in touch with you on your device. Down here, I have the keyboard clicks. I turn that off because over a period of time, it can kind of get a little annoying having something kind of constantly hitting a clicking sound. I just keep the lock sound on to make sure my device is locked and safe. Screen time, I'm gonna continue. This is my iPad. So also for any parents or grandparents out there, this can help if you want to monitor like your child's time on a device. So I'll say this is my iPad. So I haven't had it on lately. I had it off completely. So usually it'll give like a whole overview from like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and on out of how much time someone's spending on the device, and you can even break it down into like you can even set limits for apps, so you can only play this app for a certain amount of time, or they have to be off it at this time. You can even block things. So we got content. So if you don't want your kid to see anything that they don't need to see, or don't want them to search anything bad, you can turn that on. Then we could go to, I believe is going to be probably the allowed apps. Oops. So yep, Safari. I can turn Safari completely off if I wanted to. CarPlay as well, or any of these right here. I'm going to turn this off because I don't want that to be done. This is the general system preferences settings on the iPad. So right here we have about, this is just what my iPad is. So I have my name, what generation it is, model number, serial number, when my warranty expires, if I had to have any damage or anything happen to my iPad, it lets me know that I have until this date until I can get that fixed. Also has how much memory I have available. This is a 128 gigabyte iPad, which is fairly deep, which is actually a pretty good, decent size considering I don't do much on here for emails and school and etc. So we can go back, AirDrop, AirPlay, background app refresh. So right here, I see my date and time is off, so I'm actually gonna fix that. So this is where you would do that. So I'm just gonna set it automatically, or no, we're not. Okay, so I had to switch that off because it slipped to Chicago's time zone for whatever reason. And it is today. That should be good. It's actually out. There's the problem. I don't know why it's not switching back. Oh, interesting. Well, it is set to 114, but in my My screen says it's 9:41, which is weird, but I'm not going to worry about that now. If you were going to get rid of your iPad or trade it in, you would go to General and Reset, and this is how you would reset all settings, erase everything on it. If something's kind of acting a little funky or weird, you can reset that as well. So reset all settings would do that, or the network settings. You can even add a VPN to the iPad if you felt the need to, or if you wanted to. I have not set that up. Control Center, this is kind of the top right here, what I was referring to in the beginning. So I can customize it to have, right now I have the screen recording, alarm, camera, notes, and a timer. I could add TV remote, guided access. If you're hard of hearing, I can add that. You can even control devices from within your home. So your alarm system, garage, doors, locks, lights, anything of that nature. You can add that to the Control Center. Excuse me. Right here, I got the brightness. So I was talking about the light and dark mode. This is the light mode, which is kind of bright for me on my eyes, but I try to keep it in the dark. So I'm just gonna leave it at light for a little bit to show what it looks like. We got the auto lock and all button, unlock button for the iPad. Text size, I feel like I'm not the only one. Right now I have it kind of set to the normal, but sometimes I will have to increase it because I can't see everything. So this is how you make text bigger if you have a hard time seeing like up close to your device. So it's not like, so you don't have to like hold it right in front of your face. You can kind of be able to sit back and just have it at a size you can read from a distance at. So I'm gonna set it to like right there, which is the normal one. Or if it's too big for you right now, you can even make it smaller so it's not so hard on your eyes. And if you wanted to, you can even make the text itself bold, which makes it easier to see as well. We already talked about that. Accessibility, so this also helps with like if you have keyboards, you can kind of make them kind of different. You can play with the keyboard how you want it to do what you want it to do for your device and what you're comfortable for. You can even have audio descriptions, voiceover in the magnifier. It lets you like triple, so I'm gonna turn it on. So I hit the screen, oops, close that. That would be the magnifier. So it's basically a giant magnifying glass. Wallpaper, this is how you kind of customize your iPad. I have pictures of my family and like throwbacks from high school and little track photos from when I competed. Right here is how you play with the Siri settings. So that's why I didn't want to kind of say Siri earlier, because it triggers Siri. I have it set to, if I hold my home button, it'll activate. So there's Siri right there. Let me get out of there. You can make it a male, female. Can make it have an accent. Like there's all types of languages. Siri comes in to be helpful for anyone and everyone. All these apps as well work with Siri. And right here is I have my Touch ID passcode. So I have my fingerprint, my right thumb, left thumb, because sometimes one hand can have my phone in it. So I kind of have both just to be safe. In this tab, I can control my battery settings. So right here, it gives me like how my battery level has looked over the past few days. When it got it charged, could do last 10 days. Privacy, so this is how you control, like if you want, some apps do use your location to help find better results in what you're looking for. So I have it on, but only while using the app is what it says. So like in the App Store or like the Auto Trader, which is a car finding app, or any of these other apps. iTunes and App Store. So I have my personal account hooked up. So this automatic downloads button tab or section is pretty important because I have certain things switched on and off, because if I have it on, it'll go across all my iOS devices, and I have a few And sometimes you don't want everything on every device. So like the apps, I switched it off because I didn't want, I don't know what app to use as an example, but I didn't want certain apps on my phone, and I didn't want phones for my app on my iPad. So that's why I have that set off. Apple and Wallpaper. I I don't have it set up on my iPad because my iPad only works through Wi-Fi, so I don't feel the need to carry it a lot. So that's why I have it like that. And this is my passwords and accounts. So I have a lot of stuff that's autofill requires a thumbprint. So sometimes I don't remember every password, but if I need to remember one, I would go here to look that up. Mail, this is the Mail app. So with the Mail app on the iPad, it's very helpful. It works with a ton of other mail email services. So like I know Google, Cox Webmail, you have to have like a certain, like, I forgot what it was off the top of my head, but there's a certain, not setting, but like something you have to type in where you're like adding that email account so it can get connected on here. Context already discussed. Let's go to messaging. So right now I have iMessage turned off because I do get a lot of texts regarding work, schools, friends, and just from family. So I didn't want all that on my iPad, and I have it also turned off on my Mac because same ordeal. Excuse me. So I just have my phone only for messaging. FaceTime, I have various like accounts associated with my Apple ID. So these are all like that. So even calls from my iPhone or Mac will pop up on my iPad, so I can answer that call or FaceTime on any of my devices. Already went over Safari. Oh, this is the, the home hub. It's called that. This is how you use accessories in your home that, like I said earlier, deal with your lighting or anything of that nature. Music, I have all my Apple libraries synced, so they're all pretty much the same. So there's nothing really to be shown there. Apple TV, I think, is pretty unique because I have it, and you can also stream ESPN, Hulu, Netflix, and many other streaming services through Apple TV. So let me actually demonstrate that. I'm just gonna pull down. Oh yeah, if you pull down, this helps search kind of devices because I have my apps spread out, so I can pull up the Apple TV. So I have Daddy fan, so I was watching Star Wars the other day. I'm a big Grey's Anatomy fan. Just a lot of classic shows. These are some of the channels that work with Apple TV that they have done business with. So yeah, is that. 123. Since we're getting kind of to our halfway point, is there any questions I can answer? Okay, so so the Cox webmail process is like this. So let me go back. We'll go back to mail. I think, where is it at? Here it is. So you would actually go to password and accounts, go to other, add mail account, then you would do your name, email, the password, and the description would just be the Cox webmail account. So let me get the link for that right quick. I haven't used mine in a very long time, so I may not remember my account. Then you would enter your password, which I may not have. I hope this this is the right password because I have not used this email account in a very long time. So verify it. And yeah, that's how you do the Cox email account. That is how you do that. And oh, so for that, so to get to the screens at the email account, you would just, so I'm just gonna go from start over. This is the home screen. So we go to settings, password and accounts, add account, then you hit other, then add mail account, your name, email, the password, and really don't need a description for the account. Then you would hit next and it would verify it. And that's what it did with mine. So right here, I have my Cox mail right there. Do I have another question that says, do Apple devices need antivirus program? They do not. Just locking the device and using your fingerprint itself and just keeping it, practicing safe, like tech habits with it, not sharing.
That door just locked again.
Oops, sorry about that, everyone. Just sharing common passwords with everyone. Or not sharing, sorry, do not share your passwords with anyone. That's pretty much how you keep the iPad safe. Even if you were to have like a virus of some sort, there's like a protective, not layer, but like a pop-up will like warn you like, hey, this is kind of dangerous. You might want to back away from going to this site. So that's how you prevent that. Oh, I missed these questions. Sorry, I'm just going to be answering questions now. I have an iPad 2. Is it obsolete? No, it's not obsolete, but over time it will be harder for it to keep up with the software, and eventually it will start to slow down on you, and you kind of will be kind of in a way forced to get like a decide, or not forced, but forced into looking into like an upgrade to the newer versions of iPad. And someone said, how do I do the split screen? Let's do this. So let me start over. So go to Safari, have one page open, hit the little multi-window, then plus, then I'm gonna open the East Bay page. So with a finger, I just pull it down, then to the right of the screen, it opens up. Then this is kind of how I have the split screens right here. So I can simultaneously be on both screens. How do you use a VPN and when should you use it? Well, I personally have not set up the VPN on my iPad, but it would ask basically the configuration. It would ask for, basically I'll fill out all these questions. So type, description, the server, remote ID, local ID, username, password, ASCII, proxy, manual, auto, those questions. Then you would go from there. And when should you use it? You can use it whenever, honestly. I don't have the best answers for that because I never really used a VPN on my iPad. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have Bree come in and answer that.
So with VPN, a lot of folks have seen probably like Nord and some of the VPNs that are consumer services. In truth, you don't really need it for personal use. You may get VPN for your company, and basically what VPN does is it opens up a tunnel on the internet and goes straight to a certain set of servers. It's supposed to mask your traffic, but really what it does is just put you in the hands of another internet service provider. So unless you're connecting someplace that's like public Wi-Fi, open public Wi-Fi, you don't really need a VPN. The only time you would need a VPN is if you were going to connect here at DoSpace on our open network and you were going to do banking, then you might want a VPN. But if you're just at home on your own internet, you don't really need a VPN.
Thank you. Next question was how to close all open pages at once instead of swiping one at a time. Fortunately, I don't think that's really, unless you do like a hard shutdown, maybe that's the only way. Otherwise, you have to swipe it one at a time, unfortunately. Also, I didn't cover that. If you do want to turn off your device, you would just hold down the button to lock it, wait, then you would just slide the power off. Or if you don't want to do that, you just hit the cancel button. So it doesn't recognize my fingerprint, so we'll just get back in there. Is there any more questions I can answer while everyone's still here? I want to make sure I get to everybody. I don't want to miss any. Okay. Got two more. So if you do have any questions after the webinar ends, you can email hello@dospace.org and it can get forward to one of the technologists or someone who watches the, excuse me, let me think about what I'm about to say, who watches the email. They can answer it themselves. How to lock. So to lock your, so DoSpace is open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. We do require everyone to have a reservation and to have a mask when they enter the building. But at the moment, due to the coronavirus, it's kind of hard for us to provide that tech help. So we're kind of referring people to go online and get a mentor and set up a Zoom meeting for everyone's safety. To lock your iPad, it's going to be the top button at the right-hand corner, and it just locks. So like that, I don't know if my screen's disappearing when you guys is in, but I had to get logged back in. Then that's how you lock it. How do you make sure your passwords aren't shared? Well, let's go to settings, passwords and accounts. Or actually, it might be iCloud. Passwords and security. That's right. See if I can. Oh. Well, let's see what this does. So right here is how you would view which passwords and such you have. And by nature, your iOS, if you're using one like iOS or Apple account, I have my phone passwords also on my iPad. They just share automatically because I wanted them to share, and I kind of use half and half of the apps. Some of the apps that are on my phone are on my iPad because they're the same thing. So it's like shopping stuff. So I have the card information and things of that nature. So they're going to share just because of the Apple account itself, really. So it won't share it with the outside world, and you can only like view them with your password, fingerprint, or Face ID. You can set it up to do that. So right here, if I like even touch code and touch ID and passcode, I don't have the Face ID features on my iPad, so that's that. And I think that's all we're going to cover today. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Please stay safe and have a good rest of your day.